I'm not gonna tolerate this foolishness from you today.
Oh my goodness.
Hello,
Oh,
everyone, and welcome to the Real On Parent, the Real On Parenting. I am Coach Kiana Shaw,
and I'm therapist Danielle.
and every day, every show, it seems like is when Danielle and I, as we're logging in, there is some level of foolishness, shenanigans, all the words. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
sip my coffee,
yes.
and
Whichever word
and
you want to
pretend.
give it, that's it. That's the category it falls under.
But we are happy that you're here. We are, oh my goodness, in a whole new season.
We are. How
This is our
exciting.
season 4, right? Because we
Right.
we have we didn't start on season 1 of Brownstone, but it's our
Hmm.
season 4. I'm excited. Let's go. Let's go. What are we talking about today?
We are talking about maximizing our time with our child or children. You
Okay.
know, even a plus one is still a lot. So if you got a plus two, three, four, five, it's a lot. So figuring out realistically how do you maximize all that? Tending to your kids, tending to you, and all the life responsibilities.
Right, because as you prioritize, everything is moving. Like, you can prioritize your kids and now they have sports, right? So it's like that is a different type of priority, right? As far as time is spent, like that's more of a drop
Mhm.
off and pick up type of thing. Or even if you stay, like you're doing something
Right.
else for that hour. It's not a quality time. Um, and then as your life is changing, right? And going through perimenopause, I'm in research mode. That's where my quality.
I've been in research mode and I still ain't found a thing that was effective, okay? But anyways, it's about 3 years in. But yes, so if you find out something, please share.
You know what? I've been saving Tabitha Brown's lives, like the comments in her lives, because I'm like, oh, I got to go back to this. Like, there's a lot
It
in
is
those
some helpful
comments.
information. No, it really is.
Yeah, but everything doesn't work for everybody. So anyway, see how we maximizing the
Yes.
time, but our children ain't involved, right? Uh, so life is happening and things are evolving constantly. Nothing is the same from week to week, month to month, year to year, as it shouldn't be, right? Because that's how evolving happens. Um, but let's talk about it because I'm finding myself being in a space of I am building a business. I am, helping with parents. I am taking care of a daughter. I am like there's so many levels, right? My friendships
Right.
are on the back burner and I won't even say
Yes.
the back, well, yeah, the back burner because
Well,
that's where
they
you
are they on
simmer. That's where you
that
simmer,
meme
right?
category. When you send just you just tag that person or you send them the memes, that's the version of communication. It's not even full sentences. It's just like a little.
Yes, and I have a couple of friends, they send me stuff and they be like thoughts and I'll be like, I don't have the energy for that. And then when I get it together, I'm like, okay, let me give my thoughts. But there's a lot to this parenting thing, and maximizing
It
our time
is.
with our kids it has to continue to be a priority because one thing that we have discovered as we've gotten older, maximizing our time with our moms is still a priority, right? It shifts
It
from,
is.
but
Yes.
I like to think our moms, maximize their time with us still, maybe,
Well, from the
the
last
previous.
meeting, if you will, that we had, we are not the priority. We are second to the priority, which is our
They
daughters.
they grown folks' lives
So,
and them
s-
grandbabies.
yeah, so that's a hard truth, and we're still working on processing that. But at least we on the list. I
I'm
guess we can
not
go with that. At
processing it.
least
You
we on
know
the,
what?
at least we on the list.
I've
I'm
just
all about
decided.
reality, so
I just decided I'm always the third wheel with Miss Pam and Kayla. It is what it is. I'm not to fight it is to just not go, and then I don't get to go and be a wheel at all. So I'm gonna sit in the back seat.
at least you on there somewhere, right? I'll take it.
All right, so
Sure.
let's talk about it. How do we maximize our time with our kids?
Yeah, I think that one of the most important things is just carving out one-on-one time with your children.
Mhm.
But I also want to say that that time range will be different every
Mhm.
day, every week, every month is different. Things are different, and just being mindful of, you may have a check-in, well, what I call a check-in, with your kid, where it's right before bed and you guys have a little conversation, or you may have something planned and it's half a day and you guys are just doing, I don't want to say normal girl things, but
Right.
things that young ladies, your girl, if you have daughters that are transitioning into becoming a young lady, that you guys continue to enjoy. And let me share this. So, as a parent, and I think we may have mentioned this in one of the previous episodes, it's
Mhm.
fluid. It's forever
Facts.
transitioning. So what, and I think that especially as moms and our daughters kind of, I call it, go through the pubescent, and I call the tude mode, the tude phase, which is attitude, the tude phase of adolescence and tween and teenager, that mentally as a mom, we kind of get stuck in
Yeah.
what our daughters used to enjoy and what we feel they will like and enjoy,
Ooh,
even though they
that
may
that
tell us
cut me deep.
otherwise.
That cut me deep.
I'm just saying, even though they
Because
may
we
be
get
telling
used
us
to what they
otherwise,
used to enjoy. Like we know
yes.
that this unfamiliar territory. Like when did pink and purple stop being your favorite color? When did we move to navy blue? And
You're
why?
right.
That's not even a
But
pretty
with
color.
that, to her, what are you talking about? To her, it is. As long as you like it and it's safe and it's okay and it falls under them parameters, all
But it
right. That's
took me
why
a minute. I was just like, I still buy the purple because I'm like,
it
this
does
navy
it.
blue is too new. I had 10 years of purple. Now you want me to switch?
Well, it sounds like it's being for a new transition after 10 years. So, but
Apparently, I'm the
keeping
only
that in
one stuck.
mind, no, 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 you're not at all. And I would say probably some moms are like, oh, because in some way, shape, or form, your daughter told you. They
Hmm.
mentioned it.
Yeah,
They're verbal or nonverbal. They told you that that's no longer a thing for them that they enjoy. So the quality time that you'll be spending with your daughters will allow you to learn, what are they interested in now.
yeah,
You may not be interested in that. Let me just get that straight. But you're going to act like it, because it gives you guys something to talk about. You know how we can
yeah.
sit there and talk about nothing for 45 minutes? You need to develop that with your daughter. You know what I mean? You need to develop that with your daughter. So having
And
that, and
sons,
son,
and sons. Yeah,
thank you. I was say and son, you know, and that takes time in regards to continuing to build that level of trust. Because when they get to that tween age, they feel they got their own life, even though they don't have no salary or benefits. They feel that they have their own life, and they're not paying no bills. So they just really feel they have their own life. But it also makes them feel special. It makes them feel that you feel that they are still important to you, or important
right.
at all. It's interesting how the development of the brain and emotionally and mentally, how it works, because it's kind of like a kid can literally X out elementary age, and it's kind of like they start at the new slate, and you could have been doing all the things. They could have been
All the
at all the
things.
music parks and all the parties and all the events, and they hit like 10 and a half, and it's like they forgot that they even existed. You got pictures and everything. Okay, you got
They
evidence
acting
that
like we
y'all
never
done
been
did these
nowhere.
things, right? So,
But
and that
understand
goes
that,
with
that's natural. You know what I mean?
it
Like,
is,
because
it
I think as
is
a parent, like you said, she told you that blue was the color. That's a small thing, but at the same time, she felt safe enough to say it, right? Because we,
to
as
actually
parents,
say
we
it.
can get stuck in our ways sometimes. And so our kids
Mhm.
opening up, even if it's a small thing, it's still a great thing.
Right, right, and it's still like we perceive it as something small. Their
Right.
experience of it is that it is important and it's very big. So, taking the
Yeah.
time, the one on one time, whatever that looks like, where you are invested in your daughter and your child, once again, just reinforces that they are important to you.
Yeah.
that you love them. You know what I mean? You're still special, or they are still special to you. It's kind of like all these unsaid messages that's given to them, and that really pours into how they perceive themselves and how they feel
Yes.
about themselves.
Yes. And so it's not just so much the amount of time, but that quality in the time, right? What is it? Quantity over quality. Um,
Yes, yes.
like that time with and I always go back to like relating it to personal like significant other relationships because the same way we want our significant other to take that time with us without their phone, without their, and just take us out. Like I want to go on
Yeah.
dates. We're not dating if
Mhm.
if we don't go on dates, right? And so our kids feel the same way. They just don't express it in that manner. But
That one. Right.
absolutely, we gotta be like, it's not just about the length of time, but are we having meaningful time together?
Yes.
Are the activities that we're doing together?
Hmm.
I love a good book on tape, right? Mildred D. Taylor books are something that Kayla and I spent
Yeah,
last
you have
year.
shared that before.
We did,
Yeah.
yeah, we did a couple of her books and we just put it on audio, and while we're cleaning and all that, while we're in the car, we're listening. That was a great time. Right now her books
Yeah.
are a little different. Like I was just be like, this is entertainment for you, but it's a change. Like I don't care about the airbender people, and but she does, like she loves all of that. And so
Yeah.
listening to her stories
Hmm.
is not a thing for me, right? I'll do it
Right.
kinda, right? But the same way she doesn't want to listen to self-help book. I got Eric Thomas blasting through the radio, she's just like, I'm put my headphones on because
Right.
clearly, right?
He ain't talking to me, right? He talking to you. Get the word and the message, okay, Mama? All right.
Exactly. But this week we chose to watch movies together. So we watched The Great Debaters, Medea, something with Medea.
Mhm.
I always feel like I gotta pause and explain stuff to her when I watch Medea stuff. So we don't do
No,
a
you
lot.
do. No, no, no,
It's
no.
like,
You're right. Yes, you do.
and then we watched Sister Act one night and Sister Act two the
Oh,
next
those are
night.
good movies to watch.
Listen, I was like, I forgot
Yeah,
how
give me
funny
some
those movies were.
ideas.
And so
Yes. And
watching
had you
Sister Act
thinking you
2.
really could hit them notes. I'm sorry, I'm over here reminiscing.
No, I get
Okay.
it. I get it. And so watching Sister Act 2, like I was explaining, like, this is Lauren Hill and this is such and such. Like, you know what I mean? Like he wrote
Right.
half the hits we love. And she's just like,
Right.
okay, right. Like
Like your level of excitement, Mama, is a bit much for the
I'm like, whatever. When we watching Airbender shows, your excitement be but
but also, yeah,
the quality of time over the quantity of time is my point.
right. Right. And basically, I was going to also hit on basically what you said, referencing as far as the quality over quantity. And this is going to hit home, I want to say, for everybody. So
Hmm.
that quality time does not include any electronic. So putting, like you said, putting the phone down, you can be sitting next, in the same room with your children, and everybody is on some type of electronic. So it's
Right.
going to be a bit of an adjustment, for everyone to some degree because we are used to just having instant, consistent mental stimulation.
Yes.
So you may find yourself going for your phone. So, and I saw some show I was watching, and it basically had within their family, they put all the electronics like the tablets, the cell phones in a little cute basket, something you can get from a dollar store or a
Hmm.
bowl you can grab
Or some you
from what
already
you already
have.
have at
Like,
home.
yeah, just
Exactly, something
we
you
all
already
got
have at home.
containers before our shoes.
Um,
Just grab one.
and just put it in there, and it just shows that the same way that you are everyone is invested in the same way,
Hmm.
but also it's a different experience related to the fact that all y'all want your phone. It may not all be at the same time,
Right.
but at
Everybody
some point
fiending.
you looking over at it like, okay, you still there? Okay, so and it's kind of like a shared experience, but a different type of shared experience because it's demonstrating self control.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone having to do it, I call it as one of those life lessons, but also the parent modeling
Right.
what they've told their child, but their child also seeing that their parent is doing it too. So I think that that's a twofold kind of lesson learned, and pulls away from do as I say and not as I do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And in that, moving to the next one for me, that active listening,
Hmm.
it's it's not enough to just hear your kids, right? Like they need a response to know that you're actually, because I think that sometimes we can get so caught up in doing the dishes and cleaning and cooking, and they're just talking, and we're just like, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
Hmm.
But stop it. Like I'm conscious to stop and go, so wait a minute, isn't that from last week? And is that the same
Right,
person that, you know what I mean? Letting them
right,
know
right.
that, hey,
Engage.
yes, yes. And sometimes I have to go, let me turn to her, give her my full attention, make eye
Right.
contact, right?
Eye contact. Yes.
In addition to the reflecting back, right? Because I'm listening, but I'm also thinking of what's next to do, right? Whether it's, if I'm
Right.
cooking, it's like,
Your
all right,
mind is
let
still
me put this meat
multitasking, okay?
on, and then let me get this rice on, let me get these vegetables on, because I will forget the
Hmm.
vegetable. I'm gonna be honest. If I'm not conscious
You're not
and
the
thinking
only
about it,
one.
I will forget the vegetable, right? And then it's like, let me clean up as I'm moving around. Let me make sure that this grease is not, on the stove. And like there's all these things. And sometimes we
Yeah.
just have to go back to focusing so that our kids know and they understand, like, yes, I am doing something, but you still have my attention, right?
Right.
Because when we're on the phone, we don't have to make eye contact and all of that. And so the person on the phone is kind of getting more of our mental attention
So, right.
because we don't have to be, because we can be stimulated visually and all that in a
Hmm.
different way. But our kids are standing there and they want to know that we are not just doing other stuff, that we are actually paying attention. And I get it. I'm busy when I come home. I'm like, let me
Right.
get this and this
Right.
and this. I don't like, I mean, I will do meal prep and like cook for a couple of days, but we like fresh hot food. Like, so I usually cook every day. So if I'm cooking and then I'm making sure everything is clean and I'm getting laundry out the washer and dryer and like all these things
Yes.
are happening while
Yes.
she's talking to me. That's a lot sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like,
No,
I am
sometimes, no, all the
overstimulated.
time. I was about to say that's all the time, honey. I say the way that parents have, especially moms, have to, and I don't say dads, have to play mental Tetris. It's a lot,
It
and
is.
depending on your own mood, what you've been through for that day determines your threshold of being able to manage that. Because every day may look different. It still may be the same thing, the same responsibility, the same task. However, it was a
Yes.
different day. Or
And
you
let's
just
be
woke
honest,
up and like, not today.
our kids are like, I'm gonna give all this to this one parent. Whether both parents are in the house or not, they be
Oh,
like,
say that
I'm
again
gonna give
for
all
me,
of this to
okay?
this one.
Because when I tell you this week was a week, and I just said, and I tell my daughter, when I don't respond, I just breathe. The translation is give mommy 30 minutes. Because, man,
But see, 30 minutes for me, I might be in a class in 30 minutes, right? Because I teach in the evenings too. My schedule is kind of split
but
so
then
that
she
I
can do the
can.
math because that's where I
Yeah.
was at. She can go ahead and do the math till it may be today. It's okay. That has just been that type of week, okay?
And then there's this dog over here that's like, I need your attention
Oh,
too, right?
right. And I was saying, then there are the fur
And you got
babies, or if
two.
you
You
just
have
have
two
pets.
fur babies.
Oh, yes, the sleep is limited. Okay, everybody got to use the bathroom. Everybody need a snack. It's a lot. No, and it truly is a lot. It's like it makes you not even want to be hungry. Like, no, you're not hungry, stomach. You making a noise, but I know it's not for hunger. It's just
Until you pass out.
you
Like, well,
just start
I
feeling
didn't believe
lightheaded.
my belly. I didn't believe my belly when it said it was hungry.
Tired of dealing with food in any capacity. But with that, it's like there's always going to be something that needs to be done, um and that's not going to ever change. The
Right,
amount may fluctuate, but there's always going to be something. And being mindful of within your week, within your day, did you, I always want to say check in, but did you have an
Yeah.
interactive, a mindful engagement with your children? Sometimes that's scheduled, sometimes it's natural in real time, but
Hmm.
sometimes having, as a parent, having scheduled times of meeting with your kids or even just
Yeah.
meeting as a family.
Yeah.
um I want to say the first time I heard about like a family meeting, like I was in college, I was in grad school, and it was like coined as like a skill, a coping skill. And I'm like, you whole family be sitting down talking at the same time? Because I never saw that. The only
Right.
time we sat down at the same time is when it was a holiday. It was food involved. You know what I mean? It wasn't to address. It wasn't to talk about nobody's feelings. It wasn't. You know what I mean? So it was like, what is this magic you speak of in regards? And everybody actually sit down and
Not this
speak.
magic you speak of.
But it is. It can. I would say it can be a thing, and it actually is healthy um, a healthy way of encouraging communication, encouraging saying how you feel, whether that's feelings that feel good or don't feel good. You know,
Right.
it's a healthy way of learning how to communicate amongst others, even if it is your family. You know, that's kind of where things should be modeled and taught at the same time. So
Yeah.
having family meetings, I'm all about real, so be realistic with yourself on how often that should be. Um,
Yes.
it may be monthly, but I'll say that month come up real quick. I'm just letting you know. You roll around and like, it's April, it's June, girl, it's
Right.
Halloween. So you know, and then it's 2025. So it all happens so fast. So be mindful of your slow months. You know what I mean? Like when there's not birthdays and, you know, not as, you know, it may be off season for your child's extracurricular activities. And so you may have more actual check-ins or family meetings that you may have. But during those family meetings, especially if this is something that you've never done before and you do want to incorporate,
Right.
I would say acknowledge the fact that this is new and it's different. And different may bring up some feelings of like not wanting to do it or participate and feeling maybe a bit uncomfortable, but that is okay.
Yeah.
But within that meeting, everyone's going to be encouraged to, I will say something, not like that, like not, you know what I mean, not like say something, not it's more so everybody's going to be encouraged to, because there's a difference, right? Everyone's going to be encouraged to share, to participate. Do you have any thoughts? Well, I already know that with Kayla, you already do this with her, but for people who are parents who have never had a family meeting before, thinks that, you know, it may be a great idea for them and their kids. Do you have any suggestions?
Um, open up the conversation. Like I had told Kayla,
Mm,
she asked me how I slept, and I was like, I was kind of off and on. I was like, you know what, you know, in in my dreams, like I could hear God whispering, like, talk to Kayla. And she was like, talk to me about what? I was like, I don't know what you want to talk about, right? And so she goes and gets her notepad. She got this
she
to
was
go.
ready. She
I'm
was
like,
ready.
okay,
Okay.
so this is the family meeting, right? Like apparently, right?
Right.
So my thing would
You
be,
were
it
not
doesn't
prepared.
have to
That was
be,
no.
listen, okay,
You was trying to sleep.
okay.
Okay.
Listen, apparently the dog got something to say too. Because this is the real in the household. Uh all right. I had to hush him real quick. So so what I would say is don't be so structured that
Mhm.
you're like, oh, no. This is we're not supposed to talk to this about this until the 13th of the month. Like, no, sometimes it has to be like when she pulled that list out, I was just like, okay. Or, I did a Stepford wife. Okay. All right. But but allowing her in the moment, right? Because we
Right.
have a few minutes to let our kids express themselves.
Yes.
As busy as we are, sometimes you have to press pause on whatever it is. That's hard when you're in a meeting. That's hard when you are running out the door to work. But it's also hard to get a phone call saying, hey, your kid is in the hospital from,
Yeah.
trying to attempt a
Yeah.
suicide, or you know what I'm saying, like your
Yeah.
child is having a
Yeah.
mental break, like you sometimes you just have
Yes.
to make it happen in the moment.
Yes. Yes.
And it's not an easy thing. It's so we can't be structured to the point where our kids feel like they have to wait, because they deserve to have those moments. The same way I would, like, my husband cannot be like, "Hey, I'm running out to go play ball. I got something to do," or even I'm running to work if I need that moment, right? Like I'm gonna be
Right.
like, "No, I need you to stop for a second." And so in that moment, I was just like, "Okay, I could." schedule this. Well, I didn't think that, honestly. But I'm saying, like, in the moment, parents would be like, I could schedule this. I was able to stop right then. She expressed herself, and then I was like, wait a minute, you have a screwed or skewered, I guess is the word,
Hmm.
point of view on this, because what I said was this. And she was like, no,
Gotcha.
you said this. So what I realized is what I said in context she heard in a different context. Same words though, right?
They do
If
that
I
a lot,
said,
but okay. Mm.
the sense I with my students always use the sentence, I didn't say you stole the bike. So it's like, I didn't say you stole the bike. 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 Exact same words, but the
Right.
context changes
Different.
every single
Right.
time. So
Mm.
what she heard me say and what I said
Gotcha.
are very different. And so
Right.
having that moment allowed me to give clarity to her. Like, no, no, no. What mommy said was this, and this is the meaning behind that.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Versus what
Yeah.
she heard me say, same words, but she took the meaning to be different. So
Right.
taking that time to have, like, again, that unstructured time of conversation, but she expresses herself through her journal, she expresses herself through art, like she might be writing,
Yeah.
but she also might be drawing and coloring. That's something that we can do together because I love to color.
Mm-hmm.
She puts her headphones on and she's listening to music, she's zoned out, right?
Right.
She's like, I got the TV on, but I got my headphones on because this is the
Right.
mood that I'm in. Allowing our
Mm-hmm.
kids to express themselves in that way, encouraging that
Yes.
expression,
Yes.
because otherwise they can't get it out.
Right.
We had
Right.
Walkman in our ear all the time when we, you know what I mean? My mom bought us all one
Right.
because she wanted to listen to her own radio stuff. She was like, everybody got their own listening device.
Right.
You're not
Right.
gonna be
Right.
bothering me every 5 minutes about so we
Right.
had our
Right.
Walkman, and God forbid you left your earphones, or because you couldn't put it on speaker, right? Because
Right.
she
You
was
sure
listening to
couldn't.
her
That was
stuff.
not an option back in the day. Okay. Well.
But no, like it would play, but she was like, I'm listening to something. So yours got to be in your ear. She can't drive with
True.
earphones in, right? So that was the
Right. Right.
compromise.
Right.
But
Right.
at the time, we didn't necessarily acknowledge it as that. We had to
Hmm.
go, okay, as we get older, you go, okay, in youth you learn, but in age you understand. I understand now why she didn't just put her own Walkman. That's illegal.
Right.
You can't be driving
Right.
with both ears.
Right. You got stuff over your ears. You need to hear what's going on the outside of her. Okay. But yes.
Exactly. So just allowing them to open their communication avenues up, and that ensures that their voices are heard. It ensures that your voice is heard, right? Because in a day and age of so much sound, social media sound, TV sound, radio sound, friendship
Something
sound,
is
teacher
always
sound,
on.
family sound,
Yeah.
I need you to hear my voice at all times.
Yeah.
I need you to be able to connect with me at all times. And
And you know
so,
what? That is
yes,
something that many adults don't need. I mean, don't say don't need to do. No, they need to do it. Don't realize that that's what they need. Learning how to turn off the noise,
yes,
and the noise being everything, and
mhm,
being comfortable and okay in that quietness. What that means, then you
yes,
have to look at you. Do you like you? And that's a whole nother, you know what I mean? That's a whole nother thing. But if
yes,
you're spewing, and I'm saying spew because, like, get off your phone, to your kids, turn off the
mhm,
tablet. But if you always have an electronic on in your view,
You never get to know what you think of you.
Yes, the noise is always going on for you. And granted, you may not necessarily view it as noise, but constant stimulation
Hmm.
all the time is actually not good.
It's
It's actually
not.
really, really not good. So the way that you feel that the electronic or the tablet or the phone is not good for your child to always be on, it is the same thing for you because you are a human as well. So
Yeah.
that just made me think of that because it's like quiet the noise.
And that's a good point because I remember my brother being like, "So you just
And
sitting in the room by yourself?" And I was just on my
enjoying it
bed.
thoroughly, okay?
Right. I was on my bed, no TV, no radio, no phone in my hand.
No,
Like I'm
nothing.
chilling with my own thoughts. But it makes me think about the fact that if you don't enjoy your company, your own company, how you expect a spouse or a child to want to hang out
I would
with
say,
you?
or your child. Yes, yes, yes.
You
And if you
don't nobody
don't
want to hang out with you
demonstrate
if you
that,
don't want to hang out with
right, right. If you don't like you,
you. Then don't ask me to like you.
don't have high expectations of others, okay? But but with that, it's like if you don't demonstrate that for your child, they're going to always want to be around somebody or
Yes.
doing something. And then when those, because there's going to be situations where they're not going to be able to have that. They're not going to, and we know this, they're not going to
Yes.
always be doing something. They're not going to always be around somebody.
Yeah.
Then they weren't taught or they weren't shown how to manage that.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of stuff may come up. And I think actually that could be a whole nother topic, to be honest.
Right.
But within that, you need to model that as a parent first.
Yeah. I agree.
Quiet the noise. Quiet the noise. And you guys, you can practice that with your child. You know, let's take a minute. And a minute be taking it, especially like if you exercise in a minute, be really long. It'd be like 30 minutes. But take a minute to just breathe. Yes, we breathe all the time, but let's be mindful of where we're putting our air. You may hear some nose whistling.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like you need to blow your nose. You know what I mean? You just when you learn to observe and use your senses and not just vision, you become more aware of your body.
yes. And that helps you maximize time with your kids because when you are centered, you can give more. When you are centered in
That emotional
yourself,
threshold kind of goes up. You can handle more. But in
absolutely.
an effective way though, not in a reactive,
Absolutely. And
right?
and that gives you that maximizing, with your children, with your spouse, with yourself. It allows you to go to the next level. When things come up, you are not an emotional wreck because you have set
Yes,
that time for yourself. It's
yes.
it's all about how do I maximize that time with my children, but it starts with you maximizing
With
time with
you.
you.
Yes, yes.
Right? I get
And
up
with
really early every morning because I need time for me where I'm not in the hustle and bustle, like where I can go and sit and pray and enjoy a cup of coffee before I become
yes.
mom. I
Hmm.
need that.
Right, right. I would say and it is required. It's a requirement.
Yes.
On the mommy syllabus. It's a
And
requirement. Not
listen, and
everybody
don't wake
follow
up.
it.
Don't get up early talking about you coming to sit with me. No, no, no. That's boundary. Like
Right. It's
I am your mama after
mommy
6
love you long
a.m.
time, but exactly, but within this time frame, it's for me, and we're laughing about it, but
Yes.
it's very very true because if you don't tend to you consistently, you're not going to be. Let me say this: we're human, we get it.
Yeah.
Not every day is a good day. We get it. However, if you are not implementing you within your daily routines or daily to-dos, being
I like
attentive to
that. Implementing
yourself,
you. Hmm.
you are not going to be able to be the best version of parenting to your child.
Yeah.
So, how, let's say that, and it's going to sound real silly, but you're drinking your water, you're taking your vitamins, you're eating your 2 to 3 meals a day, you're doing all the normal, typical things.
Hmm.
there's a likely chance that you have more of an emotional capacity to address things with your children, or even just engage with them um, in a way that is calmer,
Yeah.
in a way that you can even be goofy, silly, being you, showing you, versus you wake up and hit the floor running every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
You getting stuff done, but you're very curt. You're very to the point. And being to the point, there's no niceness within that. It's just very direct. And
Right.
so the communication style that you may have in that sense is going to be different. It's not going to necessarily model or show niceness, kindness
Right.
to your child. And but also within, and not just necessarily to your child, with whomever else you're interacting with. So how you may address a problem or situation, or just in general, because we making decisions a minimum of 50 a day, right? So just within that,
That's it. That's all you make.
I said a minimum of 50 a day.
That's on the
so,
days where I'm sick in bed and can't get up. Like,
so needless to say, we always figuring it out.
yes,
And but when you include you allow yourself to model healthy ways of communication, healthy ways
absolutely.
of problem solving, even though you don't sit there and say, honey, do this. No, they're watching you. They're
Yep.
watching you. So other ways, or another way, I should say, of maximizing your time with your kid or children is to include you in your to do,
Hmm.
because they're
And that's that
watching
setting
you.
boundary. That's what I'm like, don't get up when I get up because this is my
Yeah.
boundary. I need this time so that I can have my routine, right? The
Yes.
prayer,
Yeah.
the
And the
coffee,
routine. Yeah. Yes. The routine is
I
needed.
need that. And I need
Hmm.
it for me so that I can ensure that I give you your individual attention. Um,
Right.
but I'm also managing the expectations of my family members, right? Like
Hmm.
you can't
Hmm.
expect me to be on from the time I get up. Like I need that time for me.
Hmm.
This is me managing my expectations, your expectations of me by setting my boundaries so that like I gotta have this flow, this ebb and flow for me. And then I think that helps to reduce sibling rivalry as well, because it's like, let me be the first to get mom's attention. No, no, no. Everybody relax until
Right.
until
Right.
I'm ready for that.
Pets included. All right.
Yeah,
Yes.
especially the pets.
Pets included. But yes. But like, yeah, the routine, if you don't have one, get one.
Yeah,
And you start with making it up. You could pull from things that you already do and just wish that you could do more of. Make time for it.
yeah,
Like you mentioned, like the waking up early. I am not a morning person
I
at
know.
all. And with that being said, my whole actually communicating is in the morning. Hmm.
Yeah, I usually don't talk to you until this time of day, right? Like because if I call,
You're not getting no
listen,
kind words. You're getting curt, okay? So why are you
but
talking
because
to me
I'm
this
up
early
at
in the
3:30, like sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to do this. So I schedule text messages to go out after 7 a.m. But I texted at
morning? That's still
3:30,
early.
but I still
7
got
means that it is an
I said
emergency. It
after
is an
7
urgent
a.m.
matter and
If
somebody's in the
I'm
hospital.
if it's you, it's scheduled for after 10. Please understand that.
And
After
10
10
is like
a.m.
5 o'clock in the morning to me.
But it's 10 a.m., West
Right.
Coast. Like
Real
I
people
am
time.
very clear that I cannot message you early. Okay. If
Oh,
I'd
goodness,
rather
yes.
message you at midnight than message you early
Hey,
in the
you're
morning.
gonna get a response at midnight. You will, but I know that you are long gone in sleep heaven. So I was in sleep heaven.
Cause at
That-
8:30 p.m. West Coast time, I am down for the count.
Right. So, but with that, is the routine is something that keeps you on your to-do list. So you
Absolutely.
can be your best, excuse me, so you can be your best version of you for that
Hmm.
day. And granted, that's going to look different every day, or can look different every day, every week, every month. But that also is modeling to your children, like you said, those limits and boundaries. So you
Yes.
have limits and boundaries for yourself, and you're modeling it for your child. So when they come across different life experiences and you're telling them certain things, there isn't this expectation for them to do this when they've never seen it. And you
Yeah.
can reference when mommy does this, this is what this looks like. This is why mommy does this.
And explain
Um,
that. I know a lot of parents don't like to
exactly. Thank
explain
you.
things,
That
but explain that because we think that
yes.
we modeled it and they going, we don't know why the hell you did that. We have no idea why
You
you
was
got up and
quiet. That's all. And so we learned to leave you alone because you was quiet. So,
right. And it's like, no, I'm quiet because I'm observing. I'm quiet because I have
right,
multiple children and I'm trying to celebrate the individuality of each of you. And I have to learn each of
right,
you in order to be able to do that, right?
right,
And I think
right,
that
right.
piece of celebrating the individuality of our kids, because so many parents go, I treat all my kids the same. Well, that's
And
a
you should not.
parenting fail, like
That's a
because they're
recipe for
very
failure.
different. They're very different
Exactly.
people.
Please
That's
don't do
like
that. And
you
then,
can't treat each relationship the same. Like
mhm,
I'm not going to treat my current the way I did my ex because they are very different people and they like different things. Our kids are the same way.
right. They came from you. Don't get me wrong. But however,
Yes.
they are their own person.
Right. The
Let's call
love
them the little
language is
people.
different.
They are their own person. So if
Yes.
you have that perception and you feel that it is going to work, like don't do that. And if you can even reference cousins, your friends,
Mhm.
and where they are as far as siblings, the firstborn, the middle, the second to youngest, the youngest. And for the most part, I won't say, assuming that they lived under the same household, so they were typically interacted the same or parented the same, but the outcomes was something
Mhm.
totally different.
Yes. And
And
how
it's
they
like, what
react.
happened? And it was that fact of the love language.
Yes.
One child was really receptive to this, and it's like the parent ran with it and figured all the kids, and it's like, well, no, I did the same with all of them, so I don't understand.
Yes.
And it's like, well, the part that's the problem is that you did it all the same with all your kids, even though they're different in their own right.
Right, because you might have one kid who thrives on the accolades and congratulations and all that, but
Right,
you have another
right.
kid who thrives on the sitting next to mom
I would
on the
say the
couch,
touches,
cuddled
yes.
up, and you know what I'm
Oh
saying.
Lord,
And here's
yes.
the thing, because I love a good cuddle and then move. You understand what I'm saying? But my daughter loves a good cuddle and she just want to cuddle. So
And she was
I
saying she
have
want
to
to stay there.
right, I have to suppress my urge to be like, all right, like I'm
Like, okay, now, because I'm starting to get hot. You just seen it. The flash is starting to brew. Yes,
exactly, exactly.
you
And
too
so
close.
I can't say, okay, well, just take this, this applause and be happy
Right,
because that's not real life. That's not what she needs. It's not what she wants.
right, right. And that's
So
not
treating them all the
how
same is not a good
her.
idea.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that, and that doesn't pour into her emotional cup. That doesn't pour
Yes.
into her sense of self. Like all these things that we're speaking of and suggesting and saying you should be doing, and if you're not, it is okay. Start doing it is because there's aspects of your child's development that is what is called mastered or achieved by doing
Yes.
these things. Um,
Absolutely.
so like, yes, we know it's important, but I'm saying it's very, very important. I'm a share of me because I don't do that a lot. But
Okay.
with my daughter, she is very much, her love language is physical touch. Mine is
Mhm.
not whatsoever. Okay, it is not that. Okay, we can be in the same room, and the fact that we are in the same room, my cup is filled. You ain't got to touch me. You ain't got to even talk to me. Okay, we are good to go. My cup's filled, and I got what I need. I remember my daughter. She was about 8 or 9, and my perception of it. We spent the whole weekend together. We went to different events. Barnes and Noble. They had to read the
Mhm.
book. We had the author sign the book. It was a whole shebang. I actually felt proud of myself because I sustained that whole weekend. Okay. And then that Sunday night, she's like, Mommy, can we spend time together? Girl, we didn't spend time together since Friday.
Right.
That was a lot of time. I'm not understanding the words that's coming out of your mouth because I'm confused. Were you not at the bookstore with us and we met the author? Did we have different experiences related to all these events we did? And
Right.
then I had to, as time like that night, because at night when your brain starts to think when it's supposed to be sleep, it was like, okay, Danielle, was those things that you identified as bonding, or
Hmm.
are those things that my daughter identified as bonding? And there was little blips of things that my daughter would identify as bonding, but the majority of it was me.
Yes. Yes,
So
because
then I was irritated with myself because I didn't plan this whole week and now I got to do another one.
on that note, I think we should do a show breaking down maybe next week we'll do a show breaking down the five love languages, right? Because I think that that's
Yes,
important.
yes,
So we let's
yes.
let's do that. But in the meantime, we are so grateful for you guys tuning in. Please, if let us know your ideas on this show, what your thoughts on this show are. You can send us
Yes.
an email
Email.
to the
The real
real
on
on parents.
parenting. The real on parenting at gmail.com.
I just love that you know that. You can also drop us some comments right here in the
Oh
chat.
yes. Yes.
And make sure you like, subscribe, share. We are here. We are in the new season. You can catch us on Brownstone Worldwide. All right. And so you can reach me on Instagram at Coach Kiana Shaw. Danielle, what's your Instagram handle?
My Instagram handle is therapist_Danielle.
All right. And don't forget, drop us a chat, like, share, subscribe, all the things. And we will catch you on the
Mm-hmm.
next episode of The Real on Parenting. Bye bye.